In this video, we'll learn how to write custom CSS in Atri framework. So I already have a project set up. I'll just start the Atri framework. First of all, I'll get into the cell, and then from the terminal again, I'll just write Atri start. Okay, so let's wait for the editor to get start. Okay, so the editor has started. As you can see, I have already created a button. Okay, and this button has, like, in all the breakpoints, it looks almost the same, except for in mobile breakpoint, I have given it a different background color. Okay, so the way to give a different CSS is very simple. You go to that breakpoint. Let's say I go to mobile breakpoint. I come over here and I can select a different background or whatever property I want to select. That property will only apply to mobile mode. Okay, so for example, if I change this color to, let's say, a darker green, okay, the desktop mode will still be blue, and all the modes smaller than desktop mode will have blue, except for mobile, where we have created it, where we have put a dark green color. Okay, so now to write custom CSS, you must at least once do build and run. Okay, this will generate for us some directory structure where we'll find a particular location where you can actually put the custom CSS. Okay, so now it has opened. Now, if we go to, let's say, mobile, we see a dark green color. If we go to, let's say, desktop mode again, we see blue color. Okay, but now let's say we want to write some custom CSS. Okay, so that when someone hovers, it should do something else. Okay, so to do that, okay, this is the directory structure that was generated because we ran build and run once. We'll go to Atri app folder. Inside there is this app folder, and there is this source, and then there is this custom folder. All our custom code will be inside custom folder. Okay, so sorry, all our external code will be inside custom folder. Okay, now for each page there will be one folder. Since we have only one page, and that is the home page, we have a home folder. Okay, I have already created a home.scss file. It will not be auto created for you. Actually, this will look something like this for you. Like, you will have an index.ts file, but you will not have a home.scss file. I'll just go ahead and create a home.scss file. You can create a SASS file, basically SAS file, or CSS file, whatever you want. I'll just go ahead with SCSS file. Okay, now the CSS class for each component is like this. First of all, we need to refer to the page. So we want to do something in home page. So p dash home, and then inside the second class will be the name of the component. For example, let me go back to the editor. You see the name of this component, this button, is button1. Okay, and if we go over here and if we do inspect element in the generated app, we'll see the class name. We'll see the class name for this button is p home button1. Okay, let's ignore bpt for the time being. We'll come to that later. So p home and button1, whatever name you gave here, again, whatever name you give over here will appear as a class name. Okay, so I'll just do, okay, I want to do something on hover. So on hover, it should actually resize. Okay, so I'll just do, let's say, transform scale 1.2. Okay, so I'll just save it, come back to the browser. Okay, let's see. Oh, I forgot to do one more step. Once you have created a CSS file, you'll have to go to index.tsx, and you'll have to import that in whatever file you have created. So here I have created home.css. I'll import home.css. You can give this file any name. It need not be home. Okay, you could have given it any name. I just gave it home.scss. Anyways, now I imported it in the index.scss file and saved this index.ts file. If I'll come back, and if you see, when I hover, it becomes big, right? The way we wanted. Okay. Now, what if I wanted to do the same thing, but in mobile mode, I want it to become even bigger. Let's say an absurd requirement, but let's say in mobile mode, I want it to be even bigger. If I go to mobile mode, if I hover, it's still getting 1.2, right? So, what if uh, in mobile mode, I want to do a different scaling? Okay. So to do that, we'll use media query. Okay. I'll just copy the media query from one of the generated files. So let's do this. Okay, so I just copied the media query from one of the generated files. So the generated CSS files are inside this page-css folder. Okay, don't change anything in this page dot like any. Don't change anything in any of the files located in page-css folder because these files are auto-generated. Okay, if you make any changes, those changes will be undone on next build and run. Okay, so no, it will ultimately have no effect. Okay, so I just copied the media query. Okay, so media screen max width 478 pixels for mobile view. Okay, now I'll do the same thing, p dash home button of hover, but instead of doing p dash home dot button, I'll add one more class which is dot bpt. Okay, and then I'll do hover. Okay, let's say transform will be scale to. Okay, so I saved it. I saved this file. I'll go back to the browser. If I'll go to mobile mode, you see it's getting larger than the last time. Okay, cool. So this is how you write external CSS. Okay, a small thing about this BPT. Uh, we have created this we are adding this BPT class to all the components so that you don't have to worry about sequence in which you write media queries and the like the normal desktop mode CSS. Okay, because you must be aware that the order in which you write these CSS is important, right? Whatever CSS comes later in the code is the one that gets applied, correct? So we don't want you to worry about the order in which you write CSS. So we have made this convention that whenever you write a media query, you should always add this BPT class for all the components. Okay, for all the elements, you must add this BPT class whenever you are using media query. If you're writing a CSS which is outside the media query, you don't need to include BPT class. You should actually not include BPT class. Okay, so BPT stands for breakpoint, and you should add this class only when you're writing CSS inside media query. Okay. So I think that's all that I have to cover about writing an external CSS, okay, or a custom CSS file. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day. Bye bye.